Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive JT. Got the mail today and got a couple of new catalogs for Jeep parts and stuff. So we're going to take a quick look through. There's a few things I've already taken a peek that I'm interested in. So we're going to start off with Summit Racing. I believe this is based out of Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Right off the top, got a nice looking Jeep up here. Just going to go through this pretty darn quickly. There's some pages at the back that I've actually ripped out for some things that I'm interested in. But, of course, you've got the usual kind of stuff. You've got bumpers. You've got some side steps over here, which is something that I might be looking for since mine seem to be rusting pretty well. Mounts over here for high lifts, which is important if you've got a lifted Jeep, of course. And then always all kinds of different lift options, everything from spacers to suspension to you name it. They've got it in here. Lots of stuff, which is probably because it's so darn popular. Bump stops. Interesting. Moving on, we've got shocks, of course, the Fox shocks. This is an example of pricing. Looks like anywhere from $300 to over $1,400, $2,700 for the pair. Let's get a little light on, see if that gets rid of my shadow. Keep on going. We've got wheels. Always got to have wheels. Lots of different tires. Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws, $172.99, starting at, of course. Flipping on through, lots more wheels. Got some shirts and hats and junk. Let's see. Looks like some covers over here. These are pretty cool if you want to go ahead and rip off your cover on the back. Not something I probably would be interested in doing. Gearing, all kinds of gears. You can change the gearing in your truck if you want to. Going on through, we've got some bed utilities here. These molly racks, panels for the back. Those are pretty neat. I've thought about doing those, although they're rather expensive. $300 and some each. That's crazy. Wow. And then you want the granddaddy for storage. Here's the pull-out storage units here. Those go for like, about $1,500 and up, I'm sure. Moving on, covers. If you're into camping, you've got some rooftop tents, a little awning if you want to protect the Jeep while you're out there in the wilderness. And let's see, moving on to the back, we've got some best top stuff. I have the Sunrider soft top, which is down here. Let's see, best top Sunrider for hard top. Looks like they're going from $800 to $900, depending on which one you want to go with. I went with the Twill, and that would cost me today $950. Wow. Now, we've gotten to, let's see, we got a ripped out page here. That must mean something's happening. Let's see, is this one I ripped out? Probably not. The wife has been looking at this stuff too, so maybe she saw something there she liked. We're going to be to my stuff here in just a second. We've got some cold air intakes. I've been on a cold air intake kick lately on the Honda Civic back here, as well as the Toyota Tacoma out there. And we do have aftermarket intakes in all of the vehicles over here. Let's see. Oh, you want to supercharge? Let's see, supercharger for the JT goes for $7,200 plus install if you're going to have somebody put it in for you. Now, at the back here, we've come to my pages. These are some things that I've ripped out. I came across these. They call them hitch sliders, and I like them aesthetically. I think they're pretty neat. You can get different colors and stuff. They just plug into the hitch on the back of your Jeep, and then they provide a little buffer, if you will, as a slider. Not cheap though. They do go for $170 and all kinds of different colors, blue, black, gray, orange. I just think it's kind of a cool feature. And then also they have a tie down option in them too. Next page, let's see, we've got a hitch receiver that we can add to the back of the Jeep. This would be for my wife's Jeep Wrangler. She does not have a hitch on hers and has expressed wanting one. So maybe that's a possibility for hers. I'm surprised at the pricing. They're really not much. 94 bucks, 100 bucks. Maybe, you never know. Moving on, let's see. Different colored pod lights. This is kind of cool. I kind of like this. You can see they've got orange, which is what I'd go for, or amber. Of course, clear, green, red, blue. Kind of neat. I don't know. 200 bucks to 430 bucks. Kind of expensive. And then lastly, dual exhausts. I still kick around putting a dual exhaust on the back of the Gladiator. These things aren't cheap either. Anywhere from, it looks like, 500 bucks, and this depends on the model you have, on up to, looks like over 1,200, depending on what you want to go for. I would go for black, of course. It is just a catback exhaust, although they do have an axle back, but good luck trying to get the piping off of your existing. Next up, we're going to go to Extreme Terrain. Gonna thumb through this one quick, get to my little green marks that I have here, but right off the bat, looks like some sort of bumper with a winch on it. An off-road bumper here, and then side steps. Again, something I'm probably gonna be looking for here. Moving on through, looks like we've got a tire carrier for the back. Definitely need this if you have the bigger tire, just to be able to accommodate it on the back of the truck, or even the Wrangler if you have that. Of course, they've got fender flares with lights in them. It's kind of neat. Not sure I'd ever change those out. Now, we're going to come to the first one that I've got marked, and it is side steps. Mine are rusting. I have the infabs, and they're actually rusting. These, I think, are similar to what Randall has. They're not the exact same thing, but they look, at least from appearance, like they're a different material. Possibly an aluminum versus steel, I think, is what I have. So maybe not as prone to rust. 370 bucks, so we're not going to break the bank on them. Maybe something that I'll consider. We shall see. More steps here. A lot more steps there. And now we're getting into open air doors, if you will, or tubular doors. Not really big on that. I love the looks of them. Here's a spider web kind of version. That's kind of cool, but not very practical for security or keeping the weather out if you're into a driving, blowing rainstorm. Grills, the wife just did one of these or similar to them. You can see on the front of hers there. It's a polarizing mod. Some people like it, some people don't. I think I'm either here nor there. Different grill options, of course. We've got some rooftop racks for storage or hauling. These mirrors, if you ever take the top off, you definitely should invest in one of these. 125 bucks for, it looks like, the pair. That's really not too bad. Here's another one for 62 bucks. Looks like just the driver's side. And of course, square or round or whatever. Now, we're coming up to another one I've got kicked off here. What I was looking at over here is some sort of unit to pull the top off. Part of the problem for me in taking the top off is it's very cumbersome. It's not that you can't lift it, it's just very difficult to balance it, and I would hate to drop that top. This thing looks like it's 700 bucks though. Pretty expensive to pull the top off. I think I'd just fashion something that I could put on the lift that I have here to kind of pull it up a little bit and call it a day, even though that lift is not really designed for that. We're gonna go right on through to the end here, to the exhausts again. This is the other thing that I'm, again, interested in. These look to be about the same price. Here's one for $3, but that's the Wrangler JL. Looks like a lot of these are for the JL. So I'm not sure they even have one for the JT, at least not in this catalog. Anyway, those are just a few things in the new catalogs, one from Summit and one from Extreme Terrain, that I might be looking for. Curious, do you guys get these catalogs? Do you ever buy anything out of them, or are they just coffee table material? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels: Mod Driven, all about the Honda Civic, and Rob Motive, all about the Toyota Tacoma. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.